we did promise you Jim Corr would be on. The US has plans to urge the EU to endorse the installation of airport. These are the controversial body scanners. There's talks taking place in Spain tomorrow. This is in the wake of last month's failed airline bomb attempt, when you'll remember a gentleman was arrested for allegedly attempting to destroy a Detroit-bound jet using explosives thrown into his underwear. Anyway, Jim Corr has been telling me why he's against them and about his concerns about these types of airport body scanners.
Well, first of all, let's look at the pretext for the introduction of these X-ray full-body scanners. So we've had this so-called underwear bomber on Delta Airlines Flight 253 to Detroit allegedly tried to blow up the plane. Now, as with any terrorist incident, it's very important to look at the anomalies. Now, this came out on Russia Today. Farouk Abdul Muttalib, he flew from Nigeria to the Netherlands without going through customs. Now, that is not possible without the assistance from an intelligence agency. At the gate, this attorney called Kurt Haskell and his wife witnessed a sharp-dressed gentleman escort Muttalib and try to get him on board the plane. And he overheard the conversation with the ticket agent, and the sharp-dressed man said, "My friend does not have a passport. Can you get him on this plane? We do this all the time." Very unusual. The agent refused, called the manager, and with that, Muttalib was allowed to board without a passport, can you believe? Now, this guy, the witness, Kurt Haskell, he's been on CNN, he's been on various other media outlets, and the FBI have been completely ignoring his testimony. In fact, they've been trying to demonize him as an unreliable witness, and Haskell's response has been, well, show the CCTV of the gate area, which the FBI have refused. Another anomaly there is Muttalib's father. He went to the US Embassy and he warned the embassy about his son's terrorist leanings, but the son, his US visa was not withdrawn, though he was on a terrorist watch list, and the trip that he made from the Netherlands to Detroit would have been impossible unless protocol was ignored. So what we have here, I believe, and many others do, is that Muttalib is in fact an intelligence patsy, and the sharp-dressed man was his intelligence handler. Now, allegedly...
But why would it be an intelligence patsy? I mean, why would they risk people's lives with an intelligence patsy, Jim?
Well, it was the type of explosive that he used, the plastic explosive. It wouldn't have blown up the plane. Yes, it caused the fire, all right, but it wouldn't have taken that plane out of the sky. But the whole idea is to create terror, of course, so that they wanted to create a path, basically, to roll out these full body scanners.
But people say, Jim, that's very far-fetched.
Well, I tell you, that's what an awful lot of people believe, and in fair play to Russia Today, they've been reporting on these similar anomalies, and because the alleged terrorist had allegedly trained in Yemen, they've got the excuse to invade this oil-rich country.
Jim, what about the issue of privacy and scanners? What's your view on that?
Yes, well, these scanners are a gross violation of our privacy. They show detailed images of our private parts. You would not want your 10-year-old daughter or son to be passing through these. Basically, it amounts to a virtual strip search. If such technology is rolled out on a widespread basis, working in airport security will undoubtedly become a pull for perverts and pedophiles. Now, an agency called the Electronic Privacy Information Center in Washington, D.C., got information that these body scanners will in fact retain and transmit images, so they can store and then send the images. Now, the other worrying aspect about these scanners is the safety aspect. These scanners emit terahertz ionizing radiation. Questions have been raised about the safety of routine medical x-rays. One guy in particular, called Dr. John Goffman, who is Professor Emeritus of Molecular and Cell Biology at the University of California in Berkeley, he's the leading U.S. expert on the biological effects of x-ray radiation. He's done exhaustive research and he's concluded that there is no safe dose level of ionizing radiation. His studies indicate that radiation from medical diagnostics and treatment is a causal cofactor in 50% of America's cancers. To get a little bit more technical, ionizing radiation in the X-ray spectrum damages and mutates both chromosomal DNA and structural proteins. In other words, it can tear apart DNA and cause cancer. We don't want to be going through these machines. My third point, Eamon, would be, what do you think industry of our time?
So you're going to say the security industry?
The terror industry, exactly. The military-industrial complex will stand to make a killing from these machines. One person of many, in fact, is Michael Chertoff, who was the former U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security under George Bush. He stands to make a lot of money from these machines. You see, with the shoe bomber, Richard Reed, they've been able to get into our shoes, and now with this underwear bomber, they're trying to get into our underwear.
Jim, if people want to blow up a plane that I'm on, well, whatever security they have to take to stop them doing that, I'm happy with that. That's what people will say.
Well, here's the thing. Here's a quote from Benjamin Franklin. He said, "He who gives up liberty for security deserves neither liberty or security."
All right, that was Jim Corr speaking to me earlier about the issue of the possible introduction of airport body scanners in the EU. We shall see.